This is the cheapest Bentley Continental GT in the UK.
Very interesting vehicle, Bentley Continental, one of the early models from, I believe, 2005. The car never been detailed, so there is a huge room for improvement. We're going to do the advanced paint correction, restore the wheels and calipers. We're going to clean the interior, restore the leather to the best possible condition. So let's just see the process of this car. It's really badly scratched, never been detailed, and let's see the transformation. So we start for very in-depth clean and detail. So all the paintwork will be fully decontaminated, all the seals, door shuts, the composite of the limescale around the windscreen, all this will be perfectly clean, and then we'll proceed to the paint correction service. The paint correction will involve multi-stage machine polishing, and possibly we are going to do the selective wet sanding. Once everything is done, we're going to protect the paint with ceramic coating. The wheels are really badly scratched. They are going to be refurbished by our partners in Andover, Hampshire, Custom Alloys. And as for the interior, which is in relatively good condition for the age, but we can still see the wear and tear, and the leather is quite shiny. All this will be restored back to new. So the next footage you will see in a second will be capturing the process.
So the washing stage is now done. We've got Glenn here making a start on this bonnet. We put some tape down the middle so you can see a clear before and after. Take a look.
We have marked up some of the imperfections that we want to rectify. So we're going to use the sanding discs, rub it down and polish it back up. Let's just have a look at the rear bumper. So the top of rear bumper, very often this is the area where you put your luggage or the shopping rested on top of the rear bumper, and this area gets really easily scratched. So in this instance, as you can see, quite a few deep scratches. We have the little bit of the dent, so we're not going to do anything with the dent, I'm afraid. However, deep scratches, we're going to wet sand down, polish it back up, and then we're going to apply the small section of the paint protection film, which we call luggage loading area, which is really good partial protection that is really worth to add on top of the bumper. So we're going to use the masking tape just to show before and after. I'm sure everyone has seen this hundreds of times. So this will give you an idea what the paint polishing is able to do, and the big difference you can actually achieve just by machine polishing. So for this I'm going to use the 3M cutting compound, which has quite abrasive properties. So a little bit of the compounds, slightly more than most of the people would use, but this is the personal preference. And then we're just going to apply the small pressure on the surface Again, I'm using the rotary polisher, not the orbital, so there's a lot more control using this polish. For example, I can really nice polish the edges, change the angle, and hopefully that gives you an idea what we can achieve. So for the next stage, we're going to use the perfect finish, which is the medium cutting polishing compound, and that should give us a very good result. So as you can see, just by compounding we have removed deeper scratches, but the level of the gloss is still not hugely improved. So I'm going to use the medium compound just to shine up the finish. Just before we are going to apply the protective coatings, we're going to the third stage, which we call the hologramming. This is the finest polishing compound used just to remove these micro swirls and this almost haziness on the surface. But before we do that third stage, we're going to finish the rest of the panel.
So I'm here today to whip out the headliner. Mike called me to help revive the headlining in this car. Due to a common issue, the leather headliners themselves sag, the flame behind it deteriorates and leaves you with this really wavy, awful looking headliner. So we're just going to strip out all the trim panels, remove the headliner, take it back to my own workshop, work on it and get it reinstalled for them.
So now we're going to clean the leather. Very important thing to remember is that you should never ever use steam to clean the leather. Very often you see the guys rubbing the leather with the steamer. It is really bad idea. So basically the steam and temperature can introduce the moisture to the leather fibers, and as much as it looked nice and clean 5 minutes after the steam cleaning, over the time the leather will dry and can either shrink, crack, and the biggest risk is it can introduce the mold deeply inside the fiber. So the proper way to clean the leather is using the special leather cleaner, which is very often ammonia-based product, and a hard brush. Again, very often you see the guys using this. I don't know what this is designed for, probably just for maybe dusting the door cards, but not for the cleaning the leather. So let me just show you the proper way to clean the leather seats.
Yeah, I'm filming.
Okay, good. So I'm going to use the masking tape just to show you the quick results. So let's just put a little bit of the masking tape. And as I said, you don't really use this. You definitely don't use the steam. This is really bad idea, especially for the very nice and soft leather. And what you have to use is the brush with medium hard bristle and professional leather cleaner. Don't use APC. This can be too caustic for the leather, and over the time it can damage either the leather, protective coatings. So in automotive we have something which we call finished leather, which is basically leather that is painted. So it's different leather than is used, let's say, in shoes or the horse saddle. So basically what you have to do, a little bit of the product. You don't have to use the gloves because this is the leather cleaner, the same or very similar product that you would use to clean your hands. It's not a soap, this is slightly more a professional product, ammonia based. But anyway, next thing, firmly, and all we have to do now is just, you can actually see all the dirt came straight off.
Shit's brown, isn't it?
Again, my brush, and you can actually see the foam is getting quite dirty. So all that dirt is kind of lifted and stays in a foam. And then we just remove the foam, so all the dirt is transferred to my cloth.
So the headline is ready to go back in. The car has been ceramic coated. All we have to do now is carry out our final checks.
Hi guys, so we have brand new Bentley Continental. Well, it was produced in 2004, but now it looks brand new. So full paint correction been done. We have done selective wet sanding, deep interior and leather clean. The wheels has been really well refurbished by our colleagues back in Andover, Hampshire Custom Alloys. So these are the split rim wheels. The inner section has been powder coated to give you the finish of chrome. So it's a chrome finish, but actually it's not chrome plated, it's powder coat. So a lot more durable finish, and in terms of the shine, it's just as good as chrome. So the rest of the wheels were finished to exact same color that is factory silver for the Bentley. The car been fully paint corrected. One thing, we had problem with the headliner, so this has been done by our colleague in New Forest, hide and seam, really good. He specializes in trim work. If it's retrimming the seats, leather, Alcantara, or any custom work, I would definitely give Brad a call. And yeah, apart from that, we finished it with ceramic coating, so the car will be effortless to keep it nice and clean. The engine and the engine bay they've been done. So this is more or less our typical paint correction service and extensive detailing. So the car is looking as good as new. Would you believe it's 20 years old now? So we are actually quite proud. A lot of work went into it. All the details been done. So yeah, it's looking really good. We're really pleased, and I hope the customer will be pleased as well.